now.
Okay. So we'd like to welcome you to Fabric Chicks Facebook Live on Monday, April 7th. I can't believe it's already the 7th, which means our retreat is less than a month away, which is kind of exciting. We did room assignments today and dealt with the retreat center. So that's kind of been stressful all day. Not all day, but it's quite a job. Anyways, so if you didn't watch, we just interviewed the So-So Shop. They've got long arms. We interviewed Terry Sue's Toffee. She's got some great specials. If you need to do, and we interviewed Jennifer from Snapdragon Quilting. So if you want to do paper piecing, she's got some great classes. She's got just check out the schedule, Quilt Show Reno. But she's got some fun paper piecing by machine, some reverse applique by machine. And her patterns are great patterns. So they look like they would be a lot of fun to do. And she's got free presentations on the stage. And you're going to want to plan out your trip to Quilt Show Reno in advance because there is so much going on. Also, I want to remind you that wear your outfits. So make something, repurpose something, wear something that we can tell that you've done to Quilt Show Reno because we're going to be giving out raffle tickets and we're going to be having a lot of fun with that. So today on Mondays, I try to do demos. I know Devin's not reading me the comments, so I feel like I'm just talking to myself blindly. But I'm in the process. We've got a collage class, collage and applique class coming up this Saturday from 10 to 2. It's $35. You can still sign up if you want to. I'm working on a new collage for that class. I always try to do something new. So I am using my dragonfly pattern, which if you went to our retreat last year, you got this dragonfly pattern. We also are doing a dragonfly challenge that we're going to exhibit at Quilt Show Reno. So if you, this was the inspiration. They don't necessarily have to do this project, but this was the inspiration for that challenge. So I'm getting it ready. Devin can show you here real quick. This is what it looked like. This is my map to my project. I'm doing a lot of experimenting here. So I've got, this is my dragonfly here. It's not, nothing is laid down. It's just kind of tossed around and then it will get its final resting place when I get more of the elements. So on the dragonfly wings, I wanted to kind of just experiment to make them translucent. So I've got some wire that I did with confetti, and then I did stitched it with wash away and added some Angelina to give it kind of an iridescent glow. And then here I've got, this is what you would just use in a normal collage. This is just got the fusible on the back and then cut out. It's already a fabric that we had for sale on one of our sales. And then here I've taken some batik fabrics and I have used Texture Magic, and I also added batting, Fabric Magic. I believe it's got a different name now. But anyways, it's the stuff that shrinks up 30%. I added some batting because I wanted texture, but I didn't want them to be like shriveled up raisins. So I've got batting in there also. So there is texture. So those are my little lupines or whatever that are going into the project. But today what I really wanted to show you is the layered leaves. So these are what I call layered leaves. And I have done a lot of thread painting. And then I've actually backed it with the backing so that I can scrunch them up like this. And then sew them onto the quilt, but I'll just attach it by the center so that they're dimensional so that you can see they won't be flat on the quilt. So that's kind of a fun element. I experimented here. This was basically the same pattern, but I did not do the layered leaves. So this is just one background fabric and then the blue fabric, 2 pieces of fabric. As opposed to here, I did cut out each of these petals separately and then fused them. So I'll show you kind of the difference. You can see that they do definitely, this one has more depth. So I'll show you that real quick over here. And here's a project that's finished that Joan made that is using the dimensional the dimensional leaves. She didn't back them so that you really can't look at them. I mean, you're not supposed to play with them and look at the back. I would back them just because everybody by nature wants to touch everything. So I would back them just so that they're pretty on both sides. But that gives you an idea of how the dimensional um, leaves and flowers and different things can add dimension to your quilting. So that is what I'm going to be demoing today. And I kind of did some prep work because it would be really time consuming for me to do trace, but I'm going to give you the step by steps, but I'm not going to actually do them. So what I did is I have my trusty light box, and I'm going to tell you that I've been using my light box a lot lately. I do love Amy's light box. It's a smaller one. That one I use when I'm traveling. But up here, I've already got the big one set up. And I've been using them for Doris's class, for Eleanor's applique. I've been using the light box for a lot of stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my...
When do you back them?
At the very end, and then I stitch around the outside edge. So you can see here that I did just there's no stitching on the back here, but there's stitching on the edge to keep the two layers together. And I'm going to also tell you, this is a disclaimer. I'm really frugal, otherwise known as cheap. And so I inherited this ginormous piece of fusible. Okay. I'm sure it's got to be Wonder Under or something. I hate Wonder Under. I love Steam A Seam 2 Light. It is a little bit thicker than like if you use Misty Fuse or one of those webbings. But Misty Fuse kind of disintegrates on me. I'm too rough. But also I love the double stick action that Steam A Seam 2 is known for. So this Wonder Under, I mean, I used it because it was free, but sometimes free is not a good thing, or it's good for different purposes. Like if I wanted something to be super stiff, this would be great. If I was going to fuse like my backing fabric to my batting for an art quilt to hang on a wall, this would be perfect because it's super stiff. It is not my favorite for this, but I also don't love it because when you use fusible, and when you use the Steam A Seam 2 and you do your layers, they stick to each other like this. Look, this is so horrible. It's so stiff, but it's good for this because it will give it dimension. But this layer here, so you can see here, I've got 3 different leaves. But I had to actually fuse it to get them to stick together. Whereas if I was using Steam A Seam 2 Light, I could just take them and I could rub them together and they would stick. They would adhere to each other. And they would also adhere to my background without me having to iron them. So if I'm not happy with something, I can move it around. But I couldn't do that because I was cheap and I used the Wonder Under. So I'm going to tell you the sad story here of this flower. So I cut this flower out during the last the last lecture that we did. The 3:00 demo. While the teachers were talking, I cut this out. And I had it laid here on my pattern on my light box. So you can see here how I number 2A, 1A, 1. I number everything so that I know what's going to go where. And when I do it, I trace on to, and I know this is going to confuse some of you, but it will help you in the long run. Okay. So if you need me to repeat this step, let me know. So this is the bumpy side. This is the sticky side. This is the paper side. I always trace right onto the fusible. What you've always learned is to trace onto the paper. But if you trace right onto the fusible, it's going to go the exact direction that you're tracing. So you don't have to worry about reversing your images. So I'm going to lay this paper side down, fusible up on whatever I'm tracing. So I would lay it right here. I would take, this is the sticky side. I know it seems wrong, but it's really right. For the rest of your life, you will thank me. And we'll thank Donna Greenwald who came up with this because you're going to just take this and you're going to trace your pattern. I like I don't use a black Sharpie typically. I'll use a pastel Sharpie. That way it doesn't show through my lighter fabrics if I don't cut it all away. So the pastels, I like the peach and the like limey green one the best. I use those a lot. And then I'm going to trace my pattern onto my fusible. I'm going to cut it out. So each of these flowers here, I'm going to show you this right here. And it was kind of sad because it's not the double stick. So when I moved, everything moved and I had to make it up. So this flower was originally this one right here, but it's not perfect anymore because I didn't have the double sticky and it all fell away. And then I'd already peeled the numbers off. So I couldn't tell what petal was what. So I just made it up. So this would be like number 5, and that's going to be right here. And number 4 is going to be this one right here, maybe upside down here. So those are all of my petal pieces, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to trace onto the sticky side of your fusible, but you're going to write your number on the paper side. If you write your number on the sticky side and say you did it on, you fused onto something like this, the number would be showing through because it's on the fusible here. So I always write my number on the paper side. I trace on this side because this is what's going to be ironed onto my fabric. Then I write my number on the paper side. Once you take off that paper though, you're not going to know what petal is what. And you're just going to, if you don't get it ironed down, you're going to be in trouble and you're going to have to make it up because there was no way I could figure out what was what. So I just made my own flower. And by the time I do all the thread painting, it's going to be fine. So you want a pressing sheet. I have a pressing sheet here. I fused it. Then I'm going to peel it off of here so that I have a 1 unit here. So you can see I have a unit. I could have cut the inside of it to be the exact shape, but just remember that you want to lay the furthest piece away first. So the yellow gets laid down first and then you build on top of that. So I have this like this. It's all 1 unit now because it's been fused with that crappy steam-a-seam or whatever that is. Make sure you use a pressing sheet because the fusible is going to get everywhere. If you don't have a pressing sheet and with this Wonder Under, because I was being cheap, I've been using the side of the paper that you peel off and throw away. You can put your stuff in there and then fuse it. So this can act like a pressing sheet. You want to make sure though that you get the fusible. Like I can feel some fusible on here. You want to make sure you get that off before you fuse the next project. So if you're in the collage class and you're coming into the shop, make sure you bring your own pressing sheet because I can guarantee you there's going to be fusible on the iron. It happens at every class. Then you're going to be upset because it will transfer to your project. I do have a pressing sheet. You can get pressing sheets in all sizes. This one is a Teflon pressing sheet. This one's a fiberglass pressing sheet. The fiberglass transfers the heat faster, so you don't have to iron as long. But I use whatever I can get a hold of. If you don't have a pressing sheet, of course, you can always use the other side of your fusible. It just is, it's kind of a temporary thing. So you're going to want to make sure you've got fabric scissors and I've got paper scissors. And I've got a bunch of, this is what we call tearaway. So this is a tearaway stabilizer. So I'm just going to put this on here. I'm not going to actually fuse it, but I just want the tearaway on here so that I can go to the sewing machine and I can sew all these pieces together. So we're going to come right over here. I've already threaded it because you guys know how it is. You don't have to have the, I'm not going to stitch all the way out to the edges with my tearaway, and I don't have the back side yet, okay? So I'm just going to pick up my, I've got my darning foot or my free motion foot on here, and I'm going to start in the center just because that's easy. And I'm going to pick up my bobbin thread because I don't want a nest or a bunch of like knots at the bottom. So I'm going to pull this over like this. And I'm not going to do the whole thing just because you guys get the idea. I'm going to put my foot down and I'm just going to kind of squiggle stitch around all the petals. Okay. I just want to make sure that they're here, that the petals are stitched down. If you go off the petal, it doesn't matter. You're just adding some texture. I'm not going to start and stop. If I end up at the outside edge, I'm not going to start and stop. And I'm just going to keep on sewing. I might here want some straight lines. So I'm going to go up and down just to give it some depth. And then here on the petal, I'm going to do some squiggly lines. Because in nature, nothing is straight. Okay? So that's kind of a quick demo. Oops. It's a quick demo on thread painting. If you need more of a demo on that, let me know. But that's kind of the first step. So if you get something ready like this, you can get to sewing and practicing. And then you just want to remember, what way is the petal going? You're not going to want the petal, if it's an outside edge, you're not going to have a lot of thread coming down. So just remember what direction the thread is coming. Okay, I'm going to have to get out. Can you read me comments real quick, Devin?
Hi.
Okay, hi. Okay, so that is the collage part of this. And then for Doris's class, I just like to show you guys what we're doing and as we're doing it. So we're felting in Doris's class, and it's $10 a month. It's the third Monday from 11 to 1. And these are the free patterns you get in the class. So on this one, I'm not felting all of mine. This one is a folded. You can see it. It's a double-sided folded. Right now it's just basted in there. So it's just going to be a folded rose.
Awesome demo.
Okay, thank you. Here I've got this was some silk fusion we did at one point. So we took silk fibers and we used a glue basically and fused it to create our own fabrics. So this is, I've cut it apart and I've used it here on this. Well, I used it on something. Here's the 3 I've got done already. So here's some folded roses. So it's kind of fun because there's a lot of different techniques. Well, I used that silk in one of the, here. Okay, so here I cut the silk and used it in the center. So this is a silk on top of wool. So I'm just using some mixed mediums here. Here is, these leaves here are also silk. So that was part of that piece of silk that we used. We took the loose fibers like wool and we fused them together with the textile medium to create our own silk fabric, basically. So that is that. So I'm just going to show you real quick what I've been doing with my felting. I know this looks like a bunch of nasty tissues. These are actually dryer sheets that I'm going to paint, and then I'm going to cut them out in leaf shapes and add them to the collage project, just to give you guys more ideas. So I'm going to take my felting needle, and all my needles end up bent. I'm not really sure if I'm just too strong with it. Maybe I don't need so much strength. So I've got all of this is done except for this one right here. So I'm just going to I love to blend them, and I could take a blending brush to blend them, but I just kind of take a little bit of fibers, and then I'm just going to put it right here and just start felting it in. So just to give you an idea that quilting you can mix all kinds of mediums. So I could have appliqued fabric in there, but I kind of like the dimension of the wool in parts of my project. This is felted wool here for the green part of it. That's just some some wool, not felted. Well, it might have been felted before I bought it. They might have thrown it in the washer in really hot water to get the felting effect. So that is basically all you have to do to felt. So you can felt on the back of a jean jacket. You can felt you really can felt on anything, which is kind of exciting. The more I play with it, the more I realize what we can, all the possibilities. It's just one more dimension to your toolbox. So I could have stopped. I didn't need to use all that wool, but I like them to be kind of protruding. And then I'm just going to pull it off of here. You can see it's coming out the back, but I'll iron it at the very end. I'll iron it to set it. So I can add a little bit more wool if I want, if I think that it's kind of chintzy. I'll decide after tonight when I look at it, since I'm kind of rushing, just to give you guys an idea of how to felt. Super easy to felt. Okay, so that's that. I showed you the folded roses. I'll do a quick demo on that real quick. So I just took, this was a piece of upholstery fabrics, and I just took it like this. Wait, this direction. And I just kind of made this up myself. I'm sure there could be a book that has folded roses the real way, but it worked, and I could do it without having to go find a book to figure out how. So I just took this kind of a rectangle shape of upholstery fabric I probably found on the floor. um, and I just sewed, since I'm doing it by hand, because I was making it up as I was going, I just sewed up and down the one side to make sure it was sewn.
See you tomorrow.
Who?
Sis.
Oh, hey, sis, how are you? Okay, so that's one side. And then I'm going to stitch up the other side real quick and then show you how it's kind of fun. I love adding dimension to the quilts, but you could do a note card like this. If you're into sending out note cards that you've made, you could totally do that. Here, I'm going to start at the bottom. So I end up at the bottom, which will help me to fold it once I turn it inside out. And then, and we have a ton of auctions, so I should not do so many demos, but it's kind of like I'm at that stage where I've got a lot of things going on up here. Okay, so then I'm just going to take this, turn it inside out, and push out my edges. It's kind of like you can really just make up whatever you're doing and kind of just make it up. Okay, then I just accordioned this piece so that it looks like that, kind of a little accordion. And then, oops, I didn't tie a knot in my thread. Let me tie a knot real quick. So this really, okay, let me get a bigger piece of thread. Hang on a second. I'll be sad if I do that piece of thread. Because it won't be big enough. Oh. Devin always likes to get really close in when I'm threading a needle.
I don't know. I feel like I'm helping.
Yeah, you're totally helping. Okay, so I'm tying a knot. Okay, so then once again, I'm going to do the accordion. And it's kind of a tiny little flower, but these blocks are tiny, but it's kind of nice because they get done pretty fast. I can like get all the pieces ready one night, and then I can pretty much finish a block the next night. So then I'm just sewing this bottom part to hold it all, the accordion together. And I'm just going to tie a little knot here. And there probably is a more official way to do this, but this will work. So then this, when you fan it out, you've got this little piece here, and then I'll hand stitch it into there. So it just makes a cute little flower. You can stick it in as far as you want. And then that, voila, it's done. Okay, so that's that. I'm going to turn on my phone as we go downstairs so we can do some auctions because we still have we've got 30 minutes. Okay, come on. Let's go do some auctions. And You have to be careful. Remy brought in a stick, and so she's been sitting here chewing on a stick. I don't know how come I can't keep the shop clean, but she finds treasures everywhere. Okay, so I know we haven't really finished from last week's sale. Devin thought I did it, and I thought he did it. So, therefore, we're doing it now. Okay, so we've got some fun auctions today. Let me.
You can catch up on the comments real quick.
Okay, I'm gonna catch up on the comments real quick. Let me start this auction though, so that that you guys can be bidding. Okay, so this is another McKenna Ryan collection. So she did it as block of the month at one point. S1282. We're starting the auction at $30. So it's for Seabreeze. 1282 is for Seabreeze. So each block, this is a 12 by 12 block. That's a turtle. You've got seahorses. It's called the Doodles. I think they're pelicans. So this is what the quilt looks like in its entirety. So all of the blocks are there. S1282 is starting at $30. Devin, do you recall if my box is empty? Suzette wants to know.
She's a half yard in there.
You have a half yard, Suzette. He's got a pretty good memory. Okay. Better Remy chewing on a stick than that's true, Kathleen. There's a lot of other things I'd be really sad if she was chewing them. Okay. Let's see. Using dryer sheets, you always have such creative ideas. Oh, Kathleen, I'm just going to say that I probably did not come up with the idea. I just remember to actually use it. I've used the dryer sheets several times, and I just use toll painting fabrics or any kind of toll painting paints. Whatever old paints are in my box, I just use to paint them once they're dry. Then I might add some glitter or something fun because, you know, I love the glitter. And then you can thread paint on the dryer sheet. So once I get one of those made, I'll show you. I know I've showed it in the landscape class, but I'll show it again. We answered that one. Okay, I think we've answered. I think we've answered everybody. If I didn't, put in new comments. Okay, 1282 is at $34, and that's going to make all of these blocks. So every block could be a block on its own. You could totally add this to any of these, any of them to the back of a jean jacket or whatnot. Okay, S1282 is at $34.
So
$36. 1282 is at $36. These typically, I would say, probably run about $15 a piece. So easily 3, 6. There's 9 patterns here. So I would say it's easily $120, if not more. So that is the Seabreeze. Let me see what we have under here. We have some fabric collections. And what does it say? Coloring Caribbean tea. So it's different teas. Here's a fabric with tea bags. Here's some teacups. Here's a mixer. Here's a black and white teacups. Some piano keys, rainbow colored piano keys, and then some stripes. So if you want to build up your stash, this is a great little collection. You got some sewing, here's some cute little gray sewing. So none of the pieces are the piano piece is pretty big, but not too big. S1181, we'll just start that at $6 because I think it's going to pass that. 1181 is starting at $6. The Seabreeze, the pattern is at $40. The pattern is at $40. If you want to sign up for the collage class this Saturday from 10 to 2, you're more than welcome. We still can get you in and get you ready for that. Okay, let's see. I think I'm going to add that. Did you send Susan to Hans yet? You did? No?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, I was going to add this.
You left it on my table all
Oh, yes.
morning. What did
Okay,
you
well,
expect?
Throw this in her basket because she got Black Minky the other day. So throw that. She can have both those. Okay. Let's see. I know sometimes we just can't even auction out. 1181 is for some sewing fabrics, some confetti, some tea, some baking, some stripes, some piano keys, and more baking and teacups. 1181 is just a variety of great fabrics for conversational pieces. If you were in Virginia Robertson's class this morning and you want to do the hip hop pads, these would be cute. The little cooking one, that would be a cute one. And then you could just add some solids from your stash to go with it. The teacups would be cute. Piano keys you can never go wrong with. Stripes you can never go wrong with. Tea, those would be cute ones. 1181 is at $6. There's two of you at $6. And then let's see, we've got a turquoisey collection here. 1381. 1381. We're going to start this one at $5. 1181 is just some blues and turquoises. You got some skies. Here's a cute little rickrack. That would be a fun binding or border. So you got some littler pieces here and some bigger fat quarter size. Here's some more of this star. So just some fun blues if you need to beef up your blue selection. S1381 is at $5. 1381 is at 1381 is at $5. 1181 is at $10. And the patterns are at $45. So the patterns are at $45. They're easily, I should go on and look because I haven't looked at McKenna Ryan's patterns in a long time, but I would say easily $120 for that collection. And we're going to get things closed up. So get your final bids in so we can show more stuff because we're kind of drowning at the moment with auction stuff. Okay, 1282 going once, going twice. 1282 is a lane for $45. And then 1181 is at $12. 1181 is at $14. 1181 is at $14. 1181 is at $14. And 1381 is at $5. 1381 is at $5. 1181 is Evelyn for $14. And 1381 is at $5. Get your final bids in. This must have been in this bowl. Okay, and if you girls have any questions about any of the demos we did, let me know. And make sure you go back and watch the 3 o'clock show we did with Quilt Show Reno. And 1381 is at $5. Kathleen for $5. Hey, Anna, how are you? Did you get any closer? Okay, here's another auction. This is a pre-printed fat quarter, it looks like a little mini quilt. You've got a fat quarter here and then another piece. You've got some green metallic. So if you want to beef up your green selection, here's a good like half yard. Feels kind of like Kona cotton maybe. Here's a woven, probably close to a half yard. Looks like it's been washed already of a woven fabric. Oh gosh, I wish we'd have seen this fabric today. Somebody was in looking for that color fabric. And then here are some fish. Those are great for collaging. You can fussy cut them out, or you could do, if you did Virginia's hot pad today. You could take these two and make a cute little hot pad. That would be fun. So S, let me see. Here's the rest of them. You got quite a bit of this cute little green. S 105. We'll just start it at $6. 105 at $6 because somebody who was in that hot pad class is going to order it for that fish because that's going to be a super cute hot pad. Super cute. Okay. 105 is at $6 for the green collection. If you do dolls, this would make a cute doll quilt here. You could just stitch in the ditch where it's pre-printed so that it looks like it's been quilted. S105 is the green collection. 105 is the green collection. And I have a tape measure here. I'm just going to scroll for a winner. And I have Jane Massengill. Let me find, what happened to, Doris had scratch paper here. I don't know what happened to the scratch. Okay, let me just tear up one of these. Okay, Jane Massengill, you just want a tape measure. Okay. S105. Thank you for sharing and liking, Sue. We love it when you do that. We love it when you share. Hopefully your friends will want to watch us. You just never know. Okay, I'm going to mix these two Minkies together. So we've got Minky scraps here. You've got some without the dimple dots. If you're going to sew with Minky, it's really not that hard to sew with Minky, but you do need to double pin it, okay? So put in the pins you would normally put in and then pin it again. So here are a bunch of Minky scraps. They're great for Devon's bears. You can sew the scraps together and create a bigger piece of fabric if you want to make it patchworky. S106, we're just going to start at $5. 106, we're going to start at $5 for the Minky scraps. S106, we're going to start at $5. S106 is starting at $5. 105 is at $7. S105 is at $7. And then we have, let's see. I'm just going to, oh, that one's pretty cute. Okay, I'm just going to mix these together just because they would look better at your house than my house. Every once in a while, I feel like I'm drowning and we got to like just move it on. Okay, so S107, let's just start this one at $10 because I'm going to mix two together. S107 is starting at $10. It has cute little, look at how adorable that vintagey cat and pumpkin is. And then you've got a fat quarter of orange. You've got some 4-inch squares that you can use for a project. So this one's flannel for sure. A little bit of flannel snuck in there. So just a great orange collection. This is a big piece here that you could use. More than a half yard. And then this one's more than a half yard too. And then we're going to mix in with that the browns. So here's some browns to go with it. This one, it looks like bells on there. So you've got, this is a piece of flannel, some wovens, just a good, oh, look at that kind of mauve-y colored. So a good fall collection here. So S107 is starting at $10. 107 is starting at $10. And there's no more room on my table. So we're going to close some stuff up, get your last bits in. 105 is Mary Men's for $7. Mary Men's for $7. And let me get that out of the way while you guys are bidding on the Minky and the Minky scraps and then the orange and brown collection. the orange and brown collection. S107 is at $10. 107 is at $10. 106 is at $6. The Minky is at $6. Get your bids in, girls and gentlemen. I don't know if Victor's bidding again yet or if he's still, I don't think it's Easter yet, so he might not be. Okay, here's a blue collection. These are bigger pieces of blue. This one does not, it feels a little bit stiffer than quilt shop quality fabric, but it is a great vibrant turquoise. This one I would say is quilt shop quality. So this is another blue and turquoise collection. This is a big piece here that is the same as that one. Here's New York, the Statue of Liberty. That would be a good pot holder if you have somebody who's gone to New York or should go to, everybody should go to New York. Okay, 108. 108, we're just going to start for $5. 108. 108 for the blue collection is at $5. 108 is at $5, which is kind of crazy because fat quarters today are almost $5. It's a crazy world we live in. And I just read in the beginning, Fabric sent an email to shops, and they said that fabric is the tariff increase is going to be about 50 cents to $1 per yard. So for a queen size quilt, they said that it's going to increase the size, increase the price. A queen size quilt will be increased by $8 to $12. So to put it into perspective, do not panic. Your queen size quilt is only going to go up about $8 to $12. Beverly and the browns and oranges would make great scrappy pumpkins. I know, and those are like my favorite color. It's hard to let those go. Okay, 106. 106 for the scraps of Minky is going to Sue A for $7. The scraps of Minky are going to Sue A. And let me see if I can get them all back in the bag. So 108 is the blue fabrics. 108 is at $7. 108 is at $9. 108 is at $9. And 107 is Sandy Cox for 10. I think Sandy Cox for $10. Sandy. No?
Whatever you were doing.
Oh, Mary, you took too long. It's already written. Okay, girls, don't wait too long. I know, Devin.
Oh, no, cheater.
Huh?
Nothing.
Devin always wants more money, but once I write the name, that's the final. I wish Becky was here. She folds them all nice and puts them back in.
Well, they were definitely in separate bags.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Well, now they're in one bag, Sue. One bag. Oh, no, Sue is the Minky. Sandy is the, what happened? Up here it is. Sandy is the fall colors. Okay, 108. 108's on the table still. Oh, Mary says her internet's slow today. I know, Mary, you're going to have to be like Doris and them and come down to the shop. Then you have a better chance if you're here at the shop. Okay, what is, I don't know, there's so much stuff in here. Okay, 108 is more greens. It looks like about a yard of Christmas hollies, some green pumpkins. This one's a plant. I think that's a, it might not, I think it's just been washed. Here's green snowman and Christmas trees. Here's kind of a taupey snowflake. So you could do some fun little Christmas stuff. Here's a cute little flower that could be Christmas or not Christmas, whatever you want it to be. S109, we're going to start at $4. 109 is going to start at $4. S109 is going to start at $4. Okay, I'm gonna clean up 108. 108.
Okay.
Kathleen is $10. Kathleen is $10. Sandy, I wouldn't give up the oranges. You're gonna want the oranges for flowers. Okay. Kathleen, $10, 108. Okay, Mary, 109 is at $4 for the Christmas fabrics. And then these, I do not know if you want, I've got 3 sets. So we've got all of these needles. It looks like they were $1.15 a piece. Doris says that she doesn't know what to use them for, but she would use them in her garden for propping up her plants or something. So 110 is at $1. 110 is at $1. 110 is at $1. This one is 3 of those things for 50 cents. Let's just do 50 cents. So 3 of them for 50 cents. And then there was one other weird collection. I'm not sure what these are for. The cable stitch. I'm sure if you knit, you love these or you want them for your garden. So we've got 3 collections. So we got $1. S112 is $1. 111 for the 3 is 50 cents. 110 is $1. Those are for making cables and knitting. Well, if you need them, they're $1 a piece, or you can use them in your yard. Whatever you prefer. Okay, so 109 is $3. The bid starts at $4, Evelyn. I'm going to give it to you today, though, just because we've got a bunch more fabrics bags under there. But don't think that I'm going to be nice 2 times in a row. Okay, the green is going to Evelyn for $3. That's less than what the bid started at, Evelyn. Evelyn for 3. It's your lucky day. $3. All that green fabric for $3. Can't even get a fat quarter for $3 anymore. Okay, 110. Mary Mins wants the 3. Okay, 112 is for $1 and 110 is for $1. So get your final bids in for those. If you're a knitter, I'm sure you'll love them. And they were $1.15 a piece, it looks like. But we don't really do knitting here at Fabric Chicks, so we just need to move them on to somebody who will appreciate them. Okay, let's see. I've got 2 more things of Minky. We're just going to mix these together. So you've got some browns and some turquoises and just some random Minkies. And then I'm going to just throw this bag in with it. Oh, this makes good scarves or good bears. This is the luxury Minky. It's, we made vests with it. We did all kinds of fun stuff with it. Okay, this whole pile of scraps of a Minky, S113 for $5. That's my price, and I was sticking to it. Okay, well, you got it, Evelyn. Okay, $5 for this pile of scrap Minky, S113, S113. Gosh, we're going to have to take these cable stitch needles up to the retreat as booby prizes or something. S112 for the cable stitch needles. S112, $1 for all. S112. Here, what if I do all of them for $1? Does anybody want all of them for $1? If you garden, Doris said they would be great for plant stakes. S110. S110 for $1. Okay, I'm gonna take them to the.
Oh wait.
What? Nobody bid on them.
112. What was 112?
This one I just crunched up. Oh, Susan DeHaan. I'm gonna get. Okay, Susan DeHaan. I'm gonna unscrunch 112 and give this to you. Okay. Okay, 113 for the scraps of Minky are at $6. 113 is at $6 for the scraps of Minky. 113 is at $6. 113 is at $6. And here is, I would say this is Choice Fabrics. To me, it feels stiff, kind of like more like quilting quality fabrics. I mean, not quilt, more like crafty quality. It has that weird feel to it, but it is a very large piece. Here we're gonna start 114. We're starting at $6, Evelyn, not $5. We're starting it at $6. It has a bunch of, with the purple fabrics, is a Christmas themed. So you've got a 1/4 yard of the cute cats. It looks like about a 1/4 yard of the polar bears, Yogi Bears flannel. You've got a piece of the horns, some more flannel. Here is a Christmas border print. So you could make mug rugs out of this, or cute little pot holders. Well, they'd be too small for pot holders, but you could do something cute with that border print. Here is adorable little candy cane houses, gingerbread houses. You've got about an 8-inch strip of that. Some snowmen. Here's a piece of flannel. Here's a yard of, well, it's in pieces though, but like half-yard pieces of snowmen with glitter. Some peppermint candies. This feels crafty quality. Here's some more glitter snowmen and marshmallow snowmen. Some fussy cutted pieces here. So you could do some fun things. Some snowmen or Santa's in a truck. About a yard or so of more snowmen. It looks kind of like Debbie Mummish, but it's not. And then some, this is a great green. That would be great for landscaping, and some more holiday stuff. So quite a bit of holiday stuff. S114 is $6 plus the big chunk of crafty quality purple. S114 is at $16. Separate the purple and Christmas. Well, I just want to get rid of it, Kathleen. If you don't want the purple, you don't have to have the purple. But if you want the purple, it's in that whole collection. Don't worry, we got more stuff. I'm not sure how much more time do we have, Devin?
None.
Oh, Devin says we're out of time. No, we got like 8 minutes.
Yeah, 7 minutes.
Oh, 7 minutes is enough to do more auctions. Okay, let's see.
Well, you're always running over.
I'm always running over.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to start charging you for my time.
Okay, here is a black collection. So we've got about a half yard of spider webs, some checks, some, that's a good gray, like a half yard of that. Oh, here's a little piece of sewing. If you need that piece, I do have a bigger piece upstairs if you need it for a project. Here's, looks like buildings. Just a great black selection to add to your stash. So the black selection S115, 115, quick answer. Okay. No overtime pay for Devin. He's salaried. Okay, the blacks are starting at $5. S115 is at $5. And then let me see, what did 113? for the Minky. 113 for the Minky. 113 went to Sue for $6. Sue for $6. That's gonna be a lot to clean up. I'll clean that up afterwards.
Oh, thank goodness someone's gonna do it.
Okay. S115 is the black collection. 114. S114 is at $16 for the Christmas and the purple. S114 is $16 to Evelyn. Evelyn for $16. And then the black collection is nobody. S115 is at $5. 115 is at $5. 115 is at $5. If anybody wants this snowflakes, it's crocheted snowflakes. If anybody wants that, just put in crocheted snowflakes. We'll give it to the first person who is paying attention. And let's see, what else do we have in here? Oh, if anybody wants these knitting things, they're on a cable. If you want the knitting thingies on a cable, just put that you want the knitting thingies. 115, Stephanie, it's a super good deal. 115 is two of you at $5.
No, there's one at $7.
Oh, one of you at $7. I didn't see a $7
above them.
Oh, Emily McParland's at $7. Emily's at $7. Evelyn's at $8. Evelyn's at $8. Okay, let's see. The crocheted snowflakes. I've got Jenny Duarte was the first person. Jenny's quick. And every time Jenny takes a class, she always says, "Oh, I'm not that computer savvy." But she's quick when it comes to typing. Okay, the knitting cables are still free if anybody wants them. They're little skinny knitting needles on a cable, I think for round stuff. I don't know. I'm not a knitter, but those are free if anybody wants them. Jenny, you're fast. You're number one a lot. Okay, so 115 for the blacks are at $10. 115 for the blacks are at $10. And then I have two little embroidery hoops. So I'm just going to scroll today and find a winner. If you don't want the embroidery hoops, let me know. I have Susan DeHunt. Susan DeHunt for the little one. Susan D for the little one. And the bigger one I have, it's plastic, but it's pretty sturdy. I have Kathleen Rader. Kathleen probably has a billion of these. Okay, so that's what we have here. Let's see. I'm going to get that. Hey, Riri, how are you? Circular needles. Thank you. I do appreciate when you guys let me know what stuff is, because a lot of times I know they're knitting needles, but I have no idea what that is for. Okay, circular needles. Oh, okay, wait, Kathleen. Here, I'm gonna take here, Devin, can you come and look? Can you take a photo of this? Kathleen, on my computer,
Kathleen.
or Kathy, on my computer, we always go by my computer because your computer is always going to say that you're the first one. So can you see my computer? It has Jenny and Kathy and then Sue. But I mean, you guys were like milliseconds apart. Milliseconds apart. The black is not gone yet. Wait a second. Let me get this for Evelyn.
Good girl.
Not Evelyn. I think Elaine wanted the knitting needles. Elaine. I don't know how things get so confusing around here. But Kathy, thank you for keeping me honest, because I do need all the help I can get. Well, that's crazy. So on Susan's, Kathy is first.
Dude, give me some space.
I know it's
Sit.
crazy. The internet is crazy. It's like it always varies. The I don't even know what it's called since it's not like coming through the phone lines, but the internet lines. Okay, 115 is going to Stephanie for $10. 115 is would be. Well, I should have sold it. I didn't know so many people wanted it. Okay, let's see. I'm sorry, Kathy. I'll keep an eye open though. Once I know people like different things, then I sometimes throw them in your basket if I find them. Okay, I need the black amount. There's a lot of crazy weather. Maybe that has some. For sure, Susan, the weather is crazy. I need the black amount. What? It's right there. Evelyn, Stephanie was the last person to comment for $10. Okay, so that is all we have for today because Devin's going into overtime, even though he's salaried. But we're super glad that you guys spent the afternoon with us, and we love that you're part of our group. So that is, oh, thank you, Kathy. That is all we have for today because it looks like Remy wants to go to the bathroom. So we got to take her for a walk. So have a great week. Well, till Wednesday. Wednesday we'll have another live sale at 4:00, and we will see you soon. Go sew.